Hello and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. Oh God, life has been a little bit hectic. Post-lockdown, I am back at work. Actually, it's really been great to be back at work. It's great to be seeing people other than your family members. And just like having that routine, be established once again. Lockdown was not easy at all. I know loads of people found it really, really challenging, including myself. Especially if you consider yourself kind of like a little bit of a social butterfly. You like to go out. I do definitely like to go out, like to go eating, drinking. Yeah. And just like enjoying my life, and not having that has been really interesting. It's been an interesting time. So I thought, I'd just go through today some strategies that I use to help me cope with lockdown, talk about, the difficulties of having been in lockdown and coming out of it on the other end, how that's affected or impacted me and my loved ones. So firstly, everything I'm going to say is, again, the disclaimer always has to follow. Everything I'm about to say is obviously my personal experience, things that I've done to help me and that has helped me during the lockdown, and now coming out of lockdown and being in this really strange space where you can go out, but now you can't hang out with now you can't hang out with anybody who's not in your household. But I go to work every day. I'm with people, loads of people who are not in my household. I take the bus, I take the train, I'm on public transport with all sorts of people who are not in my household. But yeah, let's follow the rules. But yeah, just like strategies and coping mechanisms and just things that have really helped me during the lockdown, and things I still continue to use as life is not yet back to normal. So I took a few notes because I know I lose my train of thought quite quickly. So yeah, these are just some strategies that could help you, possibly if you are living in a country where the rules are a lot more tighter and you're not able to really meet with people that you love and just have that sense of normalcy being returned, or experience that sense of normalcy. So yeah, the first thing I would say is keep a schedule. During lockdown, I think the first month or so, it was so easy to just wake up, you make breakfast, you sit down, you watch some TV. I was still working from home, so I have to jump online and do what I have to do, etc. And then the rest of the day just kind of like wasted away, or just kind of eventually everything becomes so repetitive and everything just blurs in. I lost track of how many weeks we were in lockdown. I went to the office during lockdown one time and I think it had been like 3 months, and I was like, well, it's only been like 3 or 4 weeks or so, and everybody turned around to look at me like I was mad. But seriously, the days just started to just blend in and merge, and everything just became one big long ongoing day, month, weeks. It was horrible. So then I had to think, how do I break this cycle, and how do I just keep things a little bit exciting, a little bit different. So I actually had to keep a schedule of things to do in order to just for my sanity. So in the morning I'd wake up, usual, I'd make breakfast, but then I'd go for a run, or I'd go for a run prior to coming home and making breakfast, or I'd go for walks with my partner or with my cousin or my friend. So you don't really have to, obviously you don't have to touch, you can't hug, however you can go on walks and do things together. So that's what we started to do. So I would walk for we would do the 20,000 step challenge, for example, and we'd try and do this like 3-4 times a week, because really, what else, was that going to do? Alongside that, I would split up my days. If you're working from home, it's really easy to just be on your laptop and just work, and you look up and God, like hours have gone by and you really haven't had time to yourself as such. You're so immersed. And I think that came up quite a lot in conversation with my friends, like when does the workday actually begin and end? You could be working well past 6 o'clock, but actually your contractual hours is like 8. So really think about how many hours that you're dedicating to the things that you're doing, and if you could break that up so that you have time to yourself whereby you're doing other things that you actually really enjoy. Following that, moving on from that, I've already mentioned exercise. exercise is so paramount. Like, just the release of endorphins just helps you mentally to cope with kind of being a bit isolated or a bit away from people that you love. So like I said, finding a routine in which you know that every day, if every day or every other day you're going to go for a run, you're going to go for a walk, or whatever that may be, whatever kind of exercise you enjoy, you know, do it. And also, of course, like during the lockdown, online exercising using, you know, different people online and YouTube and all that became really popular and really huge, which is brilliant. But also make sure you're getting out. You know, you need the fresh air, you need to be exposed to nature. It's good to look at greenery, all of that. Scientifically, it's good for your mental well-being, it's good for your mental health. So don't just stay in the house, you know, try and find different routes to run or walk. For me, I live in London, there's just so many places to explore, and I found that actually walking around, I just, you know, I'd do like a tracker of places to walk, or, you know, places, and just kind of map my way from my house. Maybe I could walk through all the way to, I don't know, central London somewhere, walk back, just finding new routes to walk. That became really exciting. I did this route once for about maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and my god, by the end of it I was just so bored. Like, you've seen everything, I've seen the boats, I've seen the canal before, like, you know, you kind of start seeing the same people who live down those streets and those roads that you're walking. They become kind of familiar to you, and that just gets a bit boring. So make sure that you're just differentiating things, you're changing things up a little bit every now and then, finding new routes, yeah, and just new places to discover. It's really good. But exercise, do it in the house, but definitely get yourself outside and outdoors. You feel a bit more at one with nature as well as with everything around you. You don't feel like you're just, you know, so alone. And then I also have on my list, adopt a hobby. Now for me, like with my friends, my cousin picked up, she started knitting. She's been knitting for a while, but I don't know, I think she just kind of gave it up because of work. She just, you know, she started driving to work, and obviously if you're driving, you can't knit. So yeah, she took up knitting once again. She just knitted a bunch of stuff, as you can imagine, being in lockdown for how many months. And that was really, for her, it really helped her out. My friend, she's a reader, you know, she started buying all sorts of books from Amazon, reading and reviewing and writing reviews on her website, which is really good. She blogs and posts about books that she's read. Fantastic. For myself, obviously I love to write, so again, just like writing different things, maybe poetry, or delving a bit more into into the poetic side of things. I haven't really written any poems in ages, and of course just like redrafting my novel and getting people's feedback. That was quite exciting for me, just to focus on things that I like to do and I like to enjoy, which is away from work and from what I do in, you know, 9 to 5. So just adopt a hobby. Think about what you're interested in. Think about what you're interested in that you could do by yourself. That's not too taxing, you know. I find, yeah, it's not like you can go outside and play basketball or netball or anything like that with people. So you have to think about something that you enjoy, whether you like making music, you like making beats, or, you know, if that's your hobby, take that a bit more seriously. Yeah. And then talk. It's so hard this period has been especially challenging, because for the first time in a long time, we've had to just stop and just really just be. And that's been difficult, because on a day-to-day we fill our lives with so many things. There's so much noise. Going to work, coming home, meeting up with people possibly. Like, there's constantly something happening in all of our lives that we don't really have a lot of time to just stop and reflect. And this time has forced a lot of people to just stop and reflect. And that has, I don't know, that has kind of unearthed certain things in people. So I think it's really important to talk. If you have somebody that you're really close to, talk about what you're feeling, talk about what you're feeling mentally, emotionally, talk about what you're struggling with, be really open, honest, and really raw. I think from the community that I come from, I'm from Ghana, so I would say like the Afro-Caribbean, that's what we would say in England, the Afro-Caribbean community. I don't think we do enough talking. I think, especially when it comes to men, they can be really closed off. They don't always express their emotions, etc., etc. But it's really important to just talk through your feelings. You know, if you have somebody that you can trust to do that with, that's brilliant. If you don't, that kind of moves on to my next suggestion. find help via counselling or therapy or one of those mediums, it is really, really effective. And right now there are a lot more affordable platforms where you can get that kind of help. You can get somebody with whom you can just talk to and get that kind of advice, or get somebody who's actually just listening. I think, when it comes to dealing with mental well-being, it's not always about having somebody give you solutions. It's just about being able to share and knowing that there's somebody there who's actually listening. And that's what, I commend. I'm just so grateful for my best friend. If you have just one person outside of your family that you can actually honestly open up to and talk about your really good days and your really bad days, and days that you just feel super depressed, super down, you don't really want to go out, and God, I've had many of those days, and I know people who've had many of those days too, but you have somebody that you can actually open up to and let them know that you're not doing so well. And just have them listen, and you can talk through, and they can perhaps give some suggestions, or they can go on walks with you, or they can just stay on the phone. Like, I've had times when I've just called my best friend and literally we could be on the phone for like an hour and a half or so and just talking about practically nothing. It could be something that I'm watching on television, but that kind of distraction is so necessary in that moment. It just makes me feel more connected to somebody else. And also listening, as we're sharing, it's really important also to listen. But of course, it really depends where you are. Sometimes listening becomes too much. If you've got your own problems to deal with, and then you're listening to somebody who's also not doing too well, it becomes a lot. So choose who you speak to really carefully, and just understand yourself, where you are in your emotions, where you are mentally. Are you strong enough to be able to listen and be that person for whom somebody will call and just vent and just let out their frustrations? Or if you're not quite there yet, and that's okay also, to be able to say, I'm just really not having a good time right now, I'm sorry, but I can't really talk about XYZ, or I can't be the best listener right now. That's okay too. But I guess choose your company choose the people that you open up to wisely. That makes a huge difference. But I can't stress enough how important counselling and therapy has been for myself and a lot of my friends. I'll put a link below for one of the apps that I've used, and I know loads of people have actually logged into, and they match you to a counsellor that kind of fits you and fits your needs. Just having somebody on the other end of the phone, or who's available via text or via other mediums that you can utilize during this time, is really, really important. And also just being that person to tell other people, hey, I'm not doing great, and this is how I'm working through things, and you could also utilize the same mediums as well. We need to start normalizing having conversations about our mental well-being and our mental health, and stop the pretenses. We're not always okay, and we're not expected to be always okay. We're human. So just let's be honest as we can be to those around us, and let's be those people where let's be the people that people can come to talk openly about things that are affecting them, or if they are not doing too well as well. And lastly, make sure you have a laugh. Like, I've watched so much comedy during this time, and that's been a saving grace. Like, Netflix or Def Jam comedy on YouTube, anything that just takes you away from the situation, switching off from the news, switching off from everything that's been happening so far. There's been it feels like this year has just been, it's been a colossal mess, a colossal disaster. Like, there are just no words to perfectly sum up what the hell has gone on this year, So for your own mental health and for your own mental well-being, switch off. Switch off from the news, switch off from social media. Oh God, social media, switch off. Do you understand? And actually just delve into channels and, you know, stream things that just lighten your mood and make you feel good. So if that's for me, that's definitely, I love movies. I'm a movie head. I'm a movie junkie. Like, I love horror. Favorite genre. I love horror. I love sci-fi. I love comedy, you know, and I know that, like, during that time I just knew I need something that's going to lighten my mood and make me feel really good and make me just laugh, you know. So I used to watch loads of things like that with either, you know, with whoever's in my house or whoever was allowed in my house. Yeah, just watch something that's just gonna lift your spirit a little bit, you know, have you laughing. Just, again, laughing itself sends a whole vibration through your body. It makes you feel better. It's good for your mental well-being. So put yourself in that space. If you are feeling down, do not go and watch something that's going to depress you even further. You know, so if that means that you're not watching the news, that's okay. You don't have to be in the know 24/7. Like, you don't have to. You can just shut it down, shut it off. You don't have to engage in conversations about things that are going to bring your mood down even further. So if, you know, that kind of happens, just gracefully, kindly, gently excuse yourself. Try as much as possible to protect your space and your energy. And my last advice, meditation and prayer. I'm religious and I am spiritual to some degree, so I like to meditate, I like to pray. So if things are really going pear-shaped and I can't understand, I might read a scripture or so, meditate on the scripture and pray. So whatever you feel like can connect you to just help recenter you and recenter yourself, do so. You know, utilize everything that's available to you and try everything besides drugs, alcohol, and, you know, the rest. Yeah. Try things, try new things, you know. I think this time has been great for just rediscovering, you know, different modes and different mediums which can help us to recenter ourselves and realign ourselves with our, just with life and with what's actually going on. And lastly, I think my best friend said this, I can't forget. She said, that's it, people starting businesses and doing all sorts during this time and making it feel like if you're not doing that, then there's something wrong with you. To hell with that. Do not feel rushed. Do not feel like, you know, you need to use all this time whereby we can't go out, we can't do this, we can't socialize for longer than this period to start something. You know, we're constantly on the go, 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 go. It's okay to sometimes stop, reflect, and just have that time to yourself. So be selfish. Yes, stop watching other people. You're not in a race with anybody else. Do you understand? You're not on anybody's clock time. No, things happen for different people at different times. So if you're not starting off a business, you're not starting off a new idea, a new venture, you haven't lost. What are you losing? What are you winning? Do you understand? Like, just focus on you and your well-being and consider where you are at in your life. Yeah, and just how you can better yourself mentally, emotionally, because that's what's most important. Because, you know, I think once we do come out of this, and I pray to God we will, I think the detriment and the impact on people's mental health far supersedes the death rates. You know, people have been affected in ways that the statistics will never ever be able to show, or people can't actually document, you know. So really, really, really just have and utilize this time to just think about yourself and your well-being and do everything in your power to protect yourself and protect your mental, emotional, physical well-being, you know. So that's it. That's what I leave with you. You are wonderful, you are beautiful, you are perfect in every way imaginable. Where you are right now in life is where you are supposed to be. You will fly, you will soar within your realm, you know, you will get to the places that you need to get to. Be patient with yourself. Life is a journey and not a destination. So keep reminding yourself of that. You are on this journey and so many things are happening. Some of it out of your control, some of it is within your control, but do what you can, you know, and when you feel stretched, come back to yourself and think about all the ways to recenter yourself and realign yourself with your goals. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this. The next video I'm going to be talking about something that I've been able to achieve in 1 week, which I found is phenomenal, which is I've lost about 4 kilograms in a week through the keto diet. I recommend. So yeah, stay tuned for my next video. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this. Bye.